Okay. Hang on. 2 seconds. All right, there we go. All right. My wife and I got together in 2007, and like most couples trying to build their first home together, we spent quite a bit of time in our local Home Depot. It was in 2007 that I actually ended up meeting her ex-husband for the first time, and I recall vividly my first impression of him being that, man, this is a person that is a walking bag of fertilizer, and like the ones you can buy in the garden center at Home Depot. And he was just really toxic and repulsive and emetic. And after interacting with him throughout the years, he just proved time and again how true that first impression really was. Right after I met him, of course, the first thing I asked my wife was why she and her ex had split in the first place. It turns out that he was a repairman on a cruise ship, and he would take trips with his coworker to the cruise ships to get a cabin and sleep with her. It got so frequent that he was volunteering for extra shifts at night and on the weekends so he could go to the cruise ships with her instead of going to the football games and the lacrosse games and all the other sports that his own son was involved in. When my wife was at home trying to be super mom and run the household by herself. And I mean, purposely avoiding your kid, you know, in my opinion, that just makes somebody a truly repulsive person. But, you know, I don't want to give the wrong impression here. Not everything was over the top all the time with her ex. One of the mandates in their divorce settlement was that he was required to keep his son on his health insurance, which is a great thing. It would mean that his son would have ready access to health care when he needed it. It was around 2008 or so, about a year after I met him, that this really came into play. His son started getting intestinal issues. So we went to the doctor, and the doctors wanted to do an endo and a colonoscopy, you know, so down and up. And of course, the first thing that they asked was right when we found out that her ex had canceled the health insurance policy. He just decided he didn't want to pay for it anymore. And that was when I knew then that for a person that can't put his own son's health care above his greed is just a really toxic human being. And that actually reminds me of another story. A couple weeks right after that was my stepson's birthday, my ex's son. We contacted him to find out if he would be coming or seeing his son for his birthday, and he actually declined. He declined to talk to him on the telephone. He declined to send him a birthday card. I mean, we shouldn't have been surprised at this point, but it's just so difficult to fathom that a parent would choose to behave this way and adamantly refusing to acknowledge his own teenage son's birthday. Come on now. I mean, only a truly emetic person could do that. Someone that just makes you want to vomit. Just, bleh. You know, so every time you're in Home Depot and you see one of those bags of fertilizer, please just remember my wife's ex and how he's toxic and repulsive and emetic. And I ask that you take a second and have a moment of silence in the hopes that he will one day find a better way. All right.
That was good.
Next, and yeah. I'm just going to preface that I don't really know exactly what the prompt is on and stuff, so I'm going to do my best here. But okay. Hi everyone. Today I'd like to introduce to you my sister Alexandra. We call her Sasha for short. She is currently 18 years old. She goes to the University of Florida and she is studying to be an engineer. To describe my sister the best way, I would say that she is like an elephant, and she is like an elephant because the three qualities that describe her the best would be kindness, she is loud, and she's very intelligent. So for my first point, for kindness, I would say that she always tries to exemplify how much she cares about each person in our family, and she always tries to show us in like every little way. And a specific memory that I had from last year is when I came home from the dentist. I was there for about 4 hours, and I had about 4 injections. My face was completely numb, and I barely drove home. And when I got home, she had a huge basket waiting for me of stuffed animals and like jelly pens and notebooks and my favorite tea. And I had asked her why she had done it, and she said it was just to show me how much she cares. And it was especially touching for me because at the time she was working a minimum wage job, so she was kind of just paying for her own like necessities like gas and stuff, so it was actually like a huge deal for her to pay for anything else. My second point is that my sister is loud, and I say that because she always makes sure that she stands up for somebody, like no matter what. In high school, she was president of GSA, which is Gay Straight Alliance, and she would always stand up for those kind of kids that felt like they didn't really fit in so much and stuff, and she was always there for them to talk to, and she's like never afraid to be loud in the place of another person that doesn't feel like they have that voice. And for my third point, I say that my sister is extremely intelligent. She's a freshman in college now, but when she was in high school, my parents actually had to set a limit on her for like how much she could study. Like she couldn't study past midnight because, you know, like other kids her age would go out and like drink or like party or smoke or whatever. And my sister as a teenager would have to like study so much that my parents had like put a limit on her. And she had ended up graduating high school with a 6.2 GPA. She was fluent in French. She was vice president of debate, president of GSA, a mentor in spam. And for all of those reasons, my sister is like an elephant because she is kind, she is loud, and extremely intelligent.
Okay, I'll go next. So, how many people can say that they've met their hero? Well, my hero is the strongest person I have ever known, has a sense of humor unlike any other person, and is the most loving person no matter what is going on in their life. Always caring about others, this person would give you the shirt off their back, the last meal in their fridge if you needed it. This person always wants to help others, goes above and beyond, and remembers the little things. When there are get-togethers, they make sure to have something for everyone, making sure everyone feels included and special. I remember one time I was out shopping with this person around Christmas time, and we were shopping for a family that my son's class had adopted. And each person in the class, each student was requested to buy one thing off the list. Well, this person, being the caring person that they are, bought every single thing on the list. Bicycles, scooters, toys, you name it. That's just the kind of person this person is. This person, when others would have just given up, has pushed through, has faced the fears of all fears and come out on top. I remember when this person was given they had cancer, stage 3 cancer. There were no tears, there were no questions of why me. The only thing asked was, what next? When do I start treatment? Then the treatment started, and no matter how they felt, they continued to go to work, and they continued to go to the family dinners, and they continued life as normal can be. Tried to keep as normal of life. This person has always had a sense of humor, has always made everyone around them laugh, that strong belly laugh. While going through cancer treatments, I remember one time we were at the doctor's office for chemotherapy, and there were some new patients receiving their first treatments, and those first treatments can be so scary. And this person started conversations with them just to ease their fears. And just like a patient had done for us on our first visit to chemotherapy, the conversations turned humorous. And we were all laughing and laughing so hard. And the nurse in the chemo room was laughing, and all the caregivers were laughing. We were just having a good old time. And I remember the staff coming and closing the chemo room door, telling us, keep on laughing, you need that laughter, but we gotta close the door because you're, you know, kind of disrupting the office. So we still laugh about that to this day. And not many people can say they were raised by their hero or that they have known their hero their whole life. I am one of the fortunate ones. She has shown me what strength is. She has shown me to keep humor in your life no matter what was going on, and she has shown me how to care about others just to brighten their day. She has always been a rock for me, and we have always been super close. She's my best friend, my mom, and my hero. And her name is Helen, and I have a picture of her and I recently, and this was, I don't know if you can see it, this is last Thanksgiving. It's my hero, Helen.
I'll go next, if that's okay. Okay, so I'm actually glad the way that you guys have done yours so far, because I felt like maybe mine was a little off kilter. But anyway, I'd like to introduce you to somebody that I worked with for quite a while, and this was a nurse coworker of mine. First, I wanted to preface with that 1,000 people die each day of high blood pressure and the related complications. So this person was strong. This person was very complex, a very complex thinker, and just a colorful person all around. She would take stress, have no problem. She was very good with her family, even though she was sick and she had high blood pressure, which led to aneurysms, and those type of aneurysms they couldn't fix. But she still continued to work regardless of her health conditions. And she worked with me in the emergency room, and that's a very high stress environment. But mostly she did it for her family because she needed to help support her family, and her son did have a mental illness, so to speak. He had a problem with being short a few genes, so he's not really considered mentally handicapped, but he's, I guess, on a tier closer to that. So my thing with her is I kind of think of her as a diamond. I relate her to that because she was very strong. She could take a lot of pressure. She was very complex, and as far as her thinking goes, she would teach me all new things because I was a medic at the time, and going to nursing school, she wouldn't hesitate to teach me procedures, and she'd break it down into a way that was very simple. And like I said before, she was very colorful, loved to make people laugh, always had a smile on her face, just revolved around making other people feel better. She was an excellent nurse and somebody that I would definitely look up to. I feel, again, like her characteristics represent that of a diamond because they can handle a lot of pressure. They are colorful, or they can be in certain lights, and they can be very complex. I think that she represented all those characteristics, and you know, ironic that a diamond is made out of, you know, pressure. Coal, you have that lot of pressure, you get a diamond. So I feel like it kind of coincides with her because she actually died due to extreme pressure, as in her blood pressure. So the irony there, but unfortunately for her, type of diamond that you can recreate. So she was a very good person, and I think I'll miss her all the time. And that's who I wanted to introduce you to. A friend and a coworker who unfortunately dedicated her life to saving people, actually ended up losing her life because she worked even though she probably shouldn't have. So that's who I want to introduce you guys to.
Is it okay if I go next, Erin? Okay. Sorry if my video is choppy. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. All right. Without my sister, my life would be incomplete. Her name is Bethany, and she is 31 years old. When I think of her, I think of Superwoman, and 3 words jump out specifically when I think of my sister, and that is hardworking, independent, and family-oriented. Now, she is hardworking because at first she started off as a fashion major. She went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale for fashion merchandising. And she graduated with her bachelor's there, hard work throughout her whole college experience there. And about 2 years into the fashion field, she realized that she just didn't really want to be in that career. So she did a lot of soul searching, and she found nursing. So she got accepted into Palm Beach State College, and while in school, she held down 3 jobs. One as a CNA in a nursing home, a CNA in the hospital, and a private case as well. So while she was going to school full-time, she was in 3 different jobs at the same time. So she's always been a hard worker, and she always will continue to be. Now, she is independent because she has never relied on anyone to pay for anything for herself. She has always just done things her own way. If she wants something, she's going to go and get it. She doesn't believe in listening to other people's opinions about what she wants to do with her own life, and she passed that on down to me. So I am forever grateful for that. And she is family oriented because on her free time, she could be out partying, she could be going downtown, she can be shopping, but most of the time she's spending time with me and our parents and her dog. We actually just got back from St. Augustine recently, and that was because of her. She actually planned everything out. We stayed at a bed and breakfast. She just always is key on letting people know that family is everything, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, family is really all you can turn to, and that's all we really had. She is like a second mother to me. She not only is hardworking, family-oriented, and independent, she's strong. She has uplifted me during dark times and during, I've been through a lot in my life, and she has always been the one person who is she's stable. She's my one go-to person. So she's a reason why I'm in school, actually. I wouldn't have turned my life around, and I wouldn't have been on the right path and going through human services to help other people. She has taught me how to take care of myself and to always remain true to myself and to not conform to anybody. And without her, I don't think I would be the person I am today. And for that, I am forever thankful for her.
All right, I'm getting there. Try to see if I can. I'd like to introduce my best friend. Okay, I'm starting over because it's not friend, it's friend. I'd like to introduce my best friend and manager, Erica. I've known her for about 16 years. Not many people are fortunate to not only work with their best friend, but report to them. Because of her, I've been given a great opportunity at work, which allows me to work from home and also get a magnificent increase so that I can save for my future. When I met my best friend, Erica, who is now my manager, I didn't have a direction, any goals, no ambition, and she led me in the right direction. I wouldn't believe that someone like her even existed had I not met her myself. She's She's ambitious, she's funny, and spontaneous. And this goes in her personal life and at work. A funny story about her sense of humor, her being funny, is that she plays jokes. There was a time when we had worked together at a previous employer where I had called out sick because I had a stomach virus. And when I returned the following day, there was caution tape all over my cubicle, and she had done a tape outline on the floor of a body and then knocked my chair over along with a water cup to make it look like I had in fact died. And then wrapped the rest of my things in saran wrap to prevent the germs. I did make her clean it all up, but it was absolutely hilarious. An example of her being ambitious is that when I had met her was at work. We were both call center representatives, which was entry level for the business. And within about 6 to 7 months, she had decided that we needed a project manager in the service center, and had actually drawn up a proposal to prove to management that this was a necessary position and that she was the one to do it. So she in fact created a position for herself after creating this proposal, presenting it to management, and got into the role. And this was within 6, 7 months, and in her early 20s. And from there, her spontaneous side, one time in our free time, we were on our way to Publix to grocery shopping, and she saw a sign for open auditions for The Amazing Race over at the Festival Flea Market in Pompano Beach. And without saying anything to me, decided to turn into park for the auditions. And so that's what we did. We auditioned for The Amazing Race. Her reasoning behind it was that she was good at navigating and that I would eat anything. So we were a winning team. My friend Erica and manager also, to go under the spontaneous category, had watched a YouTube video about skydiving. And within about, I think 8 hours later, that's where she was. She was out at Flying Cow Road in West Palm Beach getting ready to skydive, because she felt if she wanted to be on YouTube too, although it never happened. That was all it took. Some random YouTube video, and then she went and did it, which I found rather amazing and spontaneous. And hopefully someday you get to meet someone like Erica, either in socially or at work, because it's a good time. My friend Erica, again, she is a good role model because she is funny, ambitious, and spontaneous. Did that sound about 3 minutes, you guys?
Yeah, that was really good.
I think we all did great.
Yeah. And it was really quick this time too, so yay.
Considering, I know, right? Even though they try to switch it up on us.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to stop the broadcast.
Okay.